Hello, everybody, and welcome to this very special broadcast where we introduce to you the Brown Baseball Freshman class, the class of 2024. My name is Scott Cordischi. Let's introduce each of them individually and then learn a little bit more about them as well. A right-handed pitcher who's going to wear the number 5 from Delta, Colorado, Gage Lockhart. Gage, how are you?
I'm good.
Well, thank you for joining us, Gage. A catcher that will wear the number 8 for the Brown Bears from Vancouver, Washington. It's Quinn Rooks. Quinn, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, Quinn. Thanks for joining us. A utility man, infielder / outfielder will wear the number 18 from LaGrange, Georgia, Charles Crawford. Charles, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Doing great, Charles. Thank you for joining us. Sam Duncan's a right-handed pitcher. He'll wear the number 23 in a Brown Bears uniform. Hails from Asheville, North Carolina. Sam, how are you?
Doing well, Scott. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining us. An infielder that will wear the number 32, Reese Rapoli from Foxborough, Massachusetts. Reese, how are you?
I'm great, thanks.
And Reese, thanks for being with us. And a right-handed pitcher that will wear the number 33 from West Nyack, New York, Paxton Myers. Paxton, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Well, guys, first things first, and I don't know who wants to take this one. Gage, I'll throw it at you first. I honestly, my heart goes out to all of you guys, and I'll tell you why. Because obviously, with the pandemic that this whole world, not just the country, the whole world is going through right now, it's really had an impact on you guys in particular. And I say that because it impacted your high school graduation and the start to your college careers. How have you been dealing with all of this?
Well, we all moved together, and we're living together, so that's great. We're able to bond and experience what it would be like to be on campus together. So we get to train together and be in the gym and hang out and bond and do all the things that we need to do to make sure that our chemistry is good, and we're just chugging through, keeping our classes up, and it's been a good time.
You know, Quinn, I have a son who's a junior in high school and loves and plays the sport of baseball all spring, summer, and fall long. And I have a daughter who's a freshman. The one thing I have learned about this whole pandemic, even though it's really impacted everyone's lives, that young men like yourself are very resilient, right? You learn how to deal with it. You learn how to roll with the punches.
Yeah, I think being resilient is probably one of the keys to being successful in times like these, because you don't really know what punches are going to be thrown. And if you're able to have that strong mindset, you can always push through. And I think the group of guys right here have done that, and we're continuing to do that and putting in great work.
Charles, again, not necessarily the start to your collegiate career that you thought, right? You figured you'd be coming on campus in the fall like any other freshman would, and matriculate into college in the fall. You go to fall and spring semester, but this year's different, right? I mean, it's not what you would expect under normal circumstances.
Right. Yeah, we all thought we were going to be on campus in the fall, getting together, working out together and such with the other baseball players. But, just the ability to do what we can with the circumstances we have is I think we're doing that well, and I think we need to continue doing that well.
Reese, I understand that a bunch of these guys decided to get together in your hometown of Foxborough, Massachusetts. That made it easy for you, right?
Yeah, very easy. Living at home still, so.
And they do realize that Foxborough is home to the 6-time world champion New England Patriots, do they not?
Yeah, they found that out very quick, so.
Probably not a lot of Patriots fans on the Zoom call besides myself and Reese. Sam, you're from Asheville, North Carolina, beautiful mountain town in western North Carolina. I've been there, in fact, to the Biltmore. What a great place. But why did you choose Brown? What made Brown University and the Brown baseball program the right fit for you?
Yeah, so I think through the recruiting process, Brown stood out for a number of reasons. Obviously academically, it stands above almost all. And the coaching staff and the baseball program just jumped out to me, somewhere that I could really develop. And I think that's why I ended up choosing it. It seemed perfect for me.
Paxton, same question to you. You're from West Nyack, New York, which is just on the west side of the Hudson, right across the Tappan Zee Bridge for those familiar with the area, just a few hours away from the campus here at Brown. How did you wind up coming here to Brown, and what made this the right school for you?
Right. So obviously I was looking for a very good school, and Brown obviously checks that box for me being in an Ivy League institution. And I think immediately when I went on campus for my visit and stuff like that, I clicked with the coaches, clicked with the players, and overall it just seemed like a really good fit. I felt welcome there.
Gage, you were an all-state football player, and I know you were a wrestler and you participated in track and field. Baseball always been your sport, your sport of choice, or did you consider maybe going to school to partake in another sport?
I mean, yeah, up until this last summer, I didn't really know what I was going to do in college. I was thinking maybe football, baseball, maybe track or wrestling. I had no clue. But yeah, last summer I came down and did my visit, and there was like no turning back. After I got my offer, I was at the airport. I called back and I said, you know what, let's do it. So yeah, Brown's amazing. It was one of the most exciting days of my life. So yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Quinn. I see on your bio on brownbears.com that you'd like to be an engineering major, and Brown has a reputation of being one of the finest engineering schools in the country. Obviously, you're a smart young man just to get into Brown, but you know how challenging that can be, right? Being a student athlete at an Ivy League school like Brown, I'm sure time management is going to be key for you.
Yeah, time management will be a big factor, but I think it's a good challenge, and I'm excited and I'm willing to accept it. And I think all of us have a great challenge going forward with balancing academics and athletics, but we're all definitely capable of it.
Charles, I know Brown has been great, first of all, in dealing with this pandemic. The testing and the protocols that are in place have been fantastic. And that's why there haven't been any type of widespread outbreaks. There have been very, very few, if any, positive cases of COVID on the Brown campus. Having said that, one of the measures they put into place was to not have freshmen on campus the first trimester, because they've broken the year down into trimesters this year. So tell us what you did the first trimester. I understand freshmen were allowed to take one class online. Is that accurate?
Right. So all the freshmen got to choose one class, whether it be in their concentration or out, just to take, and I think get a feel for how classes would go in college. And so personally, I chose a biology class just to get a head start in my track, but it's gone good. It's given me a lot of time to adjust and kind of get the feel for college, and also a lot of time to do some other things also.
Since you bring up biology, I see that you are a biology concentrator. Do you want to become a doctor, or what is your goal, I guess, career goal in terms of education and where you'd like to go after Brown?
So the ultimate goal, well, after Brown would be medical school. And then after that, I'd love to be somewhere in the sports field, just working with athletes as either orthopedic surgeon or orthopedic just physician.
That's great. We have a great organization that works with Brown student athletes called University Orthopedics. That's terrific. So if that's something you want to pursue, I would recommend you knock on their door and find out a little bit more about them, because they're a great organization. Sam, question for you. You talked about, youth sports. I understand one of your hobbies includes youth coaching. Tell us a little bit about that. Is it baseball, or what exactly do you coach youth in?
Yeah, usually just baseball, but back home, I mean, my high school would run several camps throughout the community, that have a lot of pull through the younger groups. And then I do some individual coaching as well. I really enjoy it. I can stay in the game. I can work with younger kids. And it is a lot of fun just to see, some progress made with these kids that love the game that much.
Hey, Reese, so one thing about your sport, the sport of baseball, is it somewhat lends itself to social distancing, right? Not necessarily when you're in the dugout, but when you're out on the field, you guys are spaced out pretty well. And I say that because my son, he played for 2 baseball teams this summer. He's playing fall ball right now. And I'm wondering, were you guys able to participate in any type of organized, leagues this summer, even with the pandemic going on?
Yeah, this summer I was able to play for my travel team one more time, which was fun just to play with those guys I've been playing with since I was like 10 years old. But the rules were definitely different. The umpire was behind the mound. Like, we had to be wearing masks all the time, which was definitely different, but it was nice just to be able to get out there and play after high school got canceled.
Absolutely. Paxton, your dad, Glenn, played baseball at Columbia, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? And was he also in the Angels organization?
Yes, that's correct. He played for the Angels and Twins organization after college as well.
Is that right? So, and a fellow Ivy League baseball player. So I'm sure he can give you some tips. And I know how much of an influence he's been on you in your life.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had a pitching or a hitting coach. He's always just done it all for me, and he's very knowledgeable about the game, and he's helped me a great deal with my game.
Reese, speaking of baseball being in the family, your dad, Paul, was in the Red Sox organization from 1989 through 1996. And I'm going to tell you a quick story. I don't know if he was there or not, but I moved to Providence in 1994 and worked for a radio station called WPRO. This is before you guys were born, obviously. But in 1994, Major League Baseball had a strike. And so I'm trying to figure out, okay, what can I do to cover sports while Major League Baseball is on strike? Because in the summer, all the other leagues aren't playing. I decided to take a tour of New England's 6 minor league franchises at the time, one of which was the New Britain Red Sox, which was the year your dad played for the New Britain Red Sox. And what I remember about that is I went out there for a game, which ended up getting rained out, but I ended up interviewing a guy that had a pretty successful major league career by the name of Matt Stairs. Has he ever talked to you about being teammates with Matt Stairs?
Not him specifically, but he's had some very famous teammates that I've met and heard a lot about. So it's been cool just to hear those stories as I've been growing up, and definitely made me fall in love with the game for sure.
Now, you went to Xaverian Brothers, which it's a great school in Massachusetts. And I'm not sure if you are aware of this or not, but there's been quite a few football players from Xaverian that have come to Brown and were either on or are currently on the Brown football team.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like every year we had a couple guys from the football team going to Brown. So it's pretty cool.
Gage, I see you list as your hobbies on your bio, waterboarding, snowboarding, and fishing. What kind of fish are we talking about? Obviously in Western Colorado, you're not going deep sea fishing, right? It's freshwater.
Yeah, just fly fishing, trout streams, brook trout, rainbow trout, brown trout. I'm a big fly fisherman, and it's just something that you have to do if you live in Colorado. It's too beautiful to stay inside and not be on the river.
Now, Paxton, ironically, I think 5 of the 6 of you guys list fishing as a hobby. You're the only one. So if these guys are all fishermen, you might have to learn how to be one yourself.
Recently, we've actually been going to the lakes and stuff around Foxborough, and we've been doing a little bit of bass fishing. So I've enjoyed it.
Nice. Quinn, I mentioned you're an engineering, or you want to be an engineering major here at Brown. Your hobbies, you list among others, are music. What music genre? I mean, who are some of your favorite artists?
So I listen to all kinds of music. I played saxophone for over 8 years, starting in 5th grade. So I also make music too. I dabble. I wouldn't say I'm a master, but I listen to all kinds of things. So usually my favorite genre right now is classic rock. So AC/DC, Queen, Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin.
Nice. So obviously you had to be sad to hear the news of the passing of Eddie Van Halen recently, right?
Yeah, that was tough.
He was an unbelievable guitarist. Question for you, Charles. You have a very unique birthday, and one that obviously you or no one else in this country will ever forget. Why don't you tell people the date that you were born?
So I was born on 9/11/2001, the day the terrorists attacked the Twin Towers. Yeah, it's definitely been a unique experience growing up, but telling people my birthday. They just kind of give you a shocked face and like whispered the day, and I always am like, yes. And my 10th birthday, I actually did a little segment in our newspaper, just kind of highlighting the 10th day or 10th year memorial of that day, and it was just a little something special. Yeah.
That's great. I know you list also Chipper Jones as one of your idols, or you're a big Chipper Jones fan. Tell us why.
I love Chipper Jones, just the way he plays the game. I love how he switch hits. I've always wanted to switch hits, just I've never made it happen. But growing up, watching him lead young Braves into postseason play, and watching how he manages the game and manages himself. Just I love it, and I just try to make my game as close to his game as possible.
Sam, your bio says on brownbears.com that you'd like to be a psychology concentrator. What exactly would you like to do after you graduate from Brown?
I think sports psychology is really interesting to me. I've always wanted to stay like in the performance field, stay in the game. Excuse me. I think it's really interesting. I mean, different kind of mental workouts, mental toughness. I think that's pretty crucial to the game, and I think it will be like even more popular in professional sports in the coming years. And so if that's really interesting to me, I think I'd want to pursue it.
That's really cool. Reese, I know you're not too far from campus. You're literally like 25 minutes north of Brown in Providence, Rhode Island. But how much are you guys itching just to get on campus, right? Just to be a freshman living on campus and going to classes here at Brown and being with your fellow freshmen?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely been tough. We're kind of isolated from the rest of campus. Everyone, like, they could be on campus even if they chose not to. Like, we were forced not to be on campus. So it definitely makes you want to be on campus that much more. But I think the fact that, most of us have been able to be together and we've been keeping in touch with Charles has made it much more bearable.
Paxton, one of the things that I think has really elevated the baseball program here at Brown in recent years has been the upgrade of facilities. Tell us, your thoughts on the facilities, particularly, Atanasio Field at Murray Stadium. To me, it's one of the best, baseball fields in the Ivy League, if not all of college baseball.
That was actually one of the reasons why I ended up choosing Brown, is just because of, how nice the facilities are. I saw they have the training room and the indoor facility, and that really blew me away with the high technology that they have there. And, they have the indoor facility for the winter time when there's snow on the ground, which is very nice. And obviously the field is beautiful as well.
Gage, tell us about maybe your connection with the coaching staff, right? Because a big reason that a lot of student athletes pick a particular program, yeah, they love the school, they love the campus, but there's that connection you have with a coach or an assistant coach, whoever it was that recruited you. Who recruited you to Brown University?
So Coach McCormack recruited me to the team, and he's cool. He's awesome. I swear me and him clicked right away. The first phone call I had with him, I was like, wow, this is somebody that I could be around for the next 4 years and enjoy it. So yeah, the pull from the coaches was honestly probably the biggest part for me for committing to the team. They were just, they really acted like they wanted me on the team, and it was a nice experience compared to some of the other experiences I had with college recruiting.
Quinn, how about you? Who recruited you to Brown?
I was also recruited by Coach McCormick. Yeah, same thing as Gage. The pull from the coaches and the way that they treat you when they talk to you and recruit you just really added a whole nother level to their recruiting and really drew me in to pick Brown.
Charles, who recruited you to Brown?
Coach McCormick also recruited me to Brown. It was just the same. I just felt like family from the first phone call. It was just awesome to talk to Coach Mack, and then after that, get to know Coach Achilles, and it was just family from then on.
Did any of you guys have a chance, obviously not this past summer, but maybe summers before that, did any of you have a chance to come to any baseball camps at Brown as sophomores or juniors? Paxton, tell us about it.
I did as a junior, beginning of my junior year. That's actually how I got recruited. I showed up to a camp. I think I threw to 5 batters, and then I was approached by Coach Grasset, and ever since, Brown kept in touch with me, and then I ended up setting up a visit.
So how many of your other guys have had a chance to see the facilities? I'm curious, Reese, to get your impression of the field, the stadium. Years ago, it used to be a grass field, and that really hampered us from getting out there in the spring. If you had a snowy winter, the outfield would stay wet. And now with the field turf, it's like night and day. I mean, you can get out there so much more often now because of the new facility.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would say it's definitely the best field in the Ivy compared to the other ones I've seen. And since I'm so close, just being able to see games and stuff when I was really considering Brown, being able to watch them play. So the facilities definitely played a huge part in me wanting to come to Brown.
So what's next for you guys? Obviously, the first trimester will end in early December, and then we'll have the winter break. And the plan is for all of you guys to be back on campus after the break? Who wants to tackle that one?
Yeah. Our lease ends on December 14th. We're going to go home for a month, and then hopefully we're back on campus together again and finally experiencing college like it should be.
You guys enjoying the Major League Baseball playoffs right now?
Oh
Yeah, they're incredible.
Unfortunately,
Rays, baby.
lost.
Yeah, who wants to you said go Rays. Did you say go Rays, Paxton?
No, Yankees.
Oh, I was going to say go. Yeah, you're a Yankees guy. I was going to say that's why I was surprised to hear go Rays coming out of you. But I want to know how a team like the Tampa Bay Rays does it. You look at, I marvel at the job that they do. They must do a great job of identifying talent because, you look at their limited payroll compared to the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the National League, the Dodgers, and they are consistently competing at a high level with Boston, New York, and everybody else atop the AL East. How do they do it?
The GM was an Ivy guy.
Good answer. Well, guys, look, it's been great to catch up with you, and really appreciate you spending some time with us and letting everybody who's watching this Zoom now on the Brown Baseball social media pages get to know you all. And we'll get to know you all more personally, both on and off the field over the next 4 years. But this was a great introduction. Thanks so much for doing this. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. I appreciate it.
Scott.
Appreciate it.